Welcome to the Sensibly Cynical podcast. My name is Sean, and today's guest is BoyStick. He is the host of the Honestly Lazy podcast. His links to his YouTube channel and the podcast are available on his Linktree. Check out his Instagram at BoyStick right now. We chatted not too long ago over IGTV. We talk about, of course, how we got into podcasting, racing, and good old country music. And last but not least, his favorite beverage, Busch Light. I'm just kidding. It's Budweiser.
What's going on?
Well, just living the dream out here in Canada right now. All the restrictions are going away out here. Drinking a beer.
Yeah,
had a long day at work.
Yeah, I got cranberry juice. I got cranberry juice, man. I don't want to go into details why, but we'll leave it at that. Good old cranberry juice. So talk about the podcast, man. Honestly, is it the Honestly Lazy Show? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so the YouTube channel is the Honestly Lazy Show, but the podcast is called the Honestly Lazy Podcast. Started out with the show with my buddy Craig St. Clair way back in the day, but unfortunately for him, he stopped showing up.
Yeah.
He wasn't really interested in the show as much, so I was itching to keep making content. I had a commentary channel for a long time, but after that, I was kind of like, fuck, man, like, it took so long to edit a video like that, so I went back into a podcast, and I've turned it into what it used to be 45 minutes straight of me just trying to babble on about topics. I do now 3 days of filming, like 20 minutes a piece, and it turns into like a morning radio show. I really have always loved those like edgy Howard Stern, Dean Blundell type morning radio shows, but I like the podcast side of it because I can swear, I can drink beer while I do it, and just have a good old time.
Right, exactly. So you would consider Howard Stern a big time like influence? Like, because he was one of those guys where, like, he didn't give a shit, especially, like, back in the day. You know, now everything's so, like, you know, strict on stuff. But back in the day, is that what you're talking about, the stuff in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. No, Howard Stern is a big, big influence on me. I game every night, and I listen to his old stuff. But my favorite time of Howard Stern is when Artie Lang was on the show.
Yeah.
He was amazing. That show was so good. And I actually, because of the Howard Stern show, I found Artie Lang's podcast, The Halfway House. So I've been binge listening to that too, because I mean, Artie Lang like could have had a radio show of his own on Sirius, and I think if he did, it would have been at top competition against Howard Stern. He was amazing.
Yeah. So talk about detail. Give us some details on the show. Like, was it like you said? You said, okay, I like humor. I think I'm pretty funny. Talk about the details on what the plan was.
There was no really plan to this podcast. The title of it was Honestly Lazy Podcast, and I really wanted to roll with like, well, what the fuck could I really do with an Honestly Lazy with a name like that? So I mean, when it turned to the radio style type stuff, that's when segments started coming in. So, you know, like in my podcast, I have like shower beer quote of the day where I just sit or I just am in the shower drinking a beer and I say a random quote. Right?
Yeah.
Or I do like, you know, like the random video of the week where I find a cringy TikTok and I bash it. And the good thing is with all that is not only am I feeling like the most creative ever, but especially with the random video and stuff, it's like going back to my old commentary days where I make fun of video, and I really do miss doing that. And being able to turn this like podcast into a morning radio show and being able to do everything that I used to love to do, that was really what made the podcast what it is today. And that I wouldn't say there was any thought process. It was just like I want to do it and just got as creative as I could, because that's what you can do with like podcasts nowadays.
So there's no centralized theme. It's just there's no centralized theme. It's just whatever's on your mind.
Pretty much, yeah. I like what I try to do is find like a news story. So I mean, I've talked about even Canadian politics. I've talked about You know, and then, or I talk about YouTubers because YouTubers are the best because their egos are so high, but they're always dumb as shit.
Yeah.
On this podcast, I actually, on the podcast that's coming up this week, Logan Paul says he's going to run for president when he's 35. So I bashed that, obviously. That's not okay.
Yeah, well, you think Canadians are crazy. I'm from Florida, man. We give you a run for your money, you know?
there's literally a Reddit page called the Florida Man. Florida Man News.
Yeah. It's funny, like in the United States, like whenever there's something crazy, I would say about 50% of the time, it's probably Florida. Like some like some crazy ass shit you'll hear on the news or whatever. That's what a lot of Canadians say. The Canadians are like that. They're like, yeah, most of the time I bet it's Florida. If not, then it's New York.
Yeah, if you really think about Florida, man, that's where like everything goes down, like best partying.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you like as you can tell, I got feeling you don't drink anymore.
Yeah, I grew up in Orlando, so I grew up in Disneyland, man, or Disney World.
Oh my god, you had it set.
What's that?
I have You had it set. See, I lived about an hour away from Canada's Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
that was like Disney World.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, like Florida seems like I want to go down to Florida and explore Florida.
It gets old quick though, man. It gets old quick, like just like anything else. It's like it was kind of cool, man, because my dad worked in the NASA, so that part was kind of cool.
What?
Yeah, my dad, that part was kind of cool. But then again, everything gets old, you know. It's just like you get. It's kind of like I get used to it, you know. As bad as that sounds, it's like like you don't realize it until you get older, you know. It's like lunch, you know. So
and you know what I noticed with America versus Canada is Americans will move like not just like to another city, they'll move to like different states.
Right. All right.
Like, we're like in Canada, like I live in Ontario, right?
We have provinces though.
Yeah, we have provinces. But it's funny because everybody I know, if they don't stay in Ontario, they all go out to Alberta or BC. There's no like going down to PI.
Always going out to Saskatchewan, or you know.
You know what? I've never drove through. I've never really left Ontario. I've been to Cuba, but I always said I want to drive to BC and back, and everyone's like, "But what about Saskatchewan?" I'm like, "I want to drive through it."
Yeah, we're ready to move on, BoyStick.
Yeah, I mean, in Canada, we're finally, like I said, so pretty much everything's lifted. No more vaccine passports for bars or anything like that.
Yeah.
We also, like in a few weeks, our mask mandate should be up. That means no more masks. Yeah, fucking 2 years of this shit. Like, and, you know, like I've said it before, I'm vaccinated, but now that like, you know, like if I waited it out, they're not doing the passport anymore. So I was like, well. I think I actually got COVID, but it wasn't as bad as they advertised it. Like I just had a 3-day death, like just felt like shit. And then I was like, back
3-day death? Like where you felt like totally crap?
Yeah, like I got it literally on Christmas Eve. I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I thought maybe drinking would help. It didn't. It made everything weird.
It's like, maybe. Well, you talking about drinking like alcohol or drinking water?
That was drinking. I tried to drink a screwdriver, and it was not going down.
BoyStick, what's your alcohol of choice?
For beer, it's Budweiser.
For anything. I don't give a shit. Anything.
So beer, Budweiser. I'm not a whiskey drinker. I'm a rum drinker.
Oh yeah.
And usually it's like Bacardi spiced or like, you know, some Captain Morgans. I'm also like, this is the thing. Like I've eased up a lot into drinking, which is why the podcast has been uploading a lot because I don't drink as much anymore. So I actually I'm not hungover and I can film. And when it comes in, like, you know, I'm at the point where it's like I want to explore like fancy drinks and stuff. You know, like a nice bottle of rum or like a $200 bottle of rum. I want to get into cigars and stuff. I really want to turn into like, if I'm going to be a YouTube sensation, I gotta get the nice rums and cigars.
Well, now you're talking to an American. That's the next step, man. American and cigars. There you go. Who's this Quinn Mar guy? He was just like ask BoyStick about Quinn Mar. Who's Quinn Mar?
Quinn Marr is a good buddy of mine. He's a prankster. He's been on my podcast before. He's helped me out a lot. He's a great dude, like a great prankster. He met up with this guy. He has like 10K subscribers on YouTube named Cringe Daddy. Yeah. They go around and they prank Walmarts and shit like that. They're entertaining. He does have his own podcast, but he's more of the vlogging type, where I'm more of the podcaster. But he's I wouldn't say he's my role model because he's younger than me, but he's definitely like, when I've seen him uploading so much as he like has, he hasn't been uploading in a while, so fuck him.
Are you a sports guy, BoyStick?
Nah, not really.
Stereotypical hockey guy?
No, like that guy Quinn Marr right there, biggest fucking Leafs fan. Bring him on the show and you can talk about sports for hours. He knows everything.
I'm a Lightning fan, obviously from Florida. We actually won the Stanley Cup.
Oh shit!
But but no, man. So what do you do? What do you do for fun up there, man? Besides try not to freeze your ass off.
Well, that's only wintertime. In the summertime, I go. My big thing, like what I do for fun mostly, I just play guitar. I play video games. I hang out with my cat Waylon.
What kind of video games? You a video game guy?
I'm actually I got the dry racing simulator, so I do a lot of the iRacing shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my game of choice because I actually feel like I'm racing because I never could when I was a kid.
I used to play those. I'm old enough to remember those. I don't know if you remember the old Wave Racer games, like the old ones, and like you know what I mean, and the old Mario Kart.
Oh, dude, no, mine was Crash Team Racing. That was my racing game when I was a kid.
Yeah, Mario Kart was dangerous, man. People would I would spend hours doing that shit to beat somebody.
Dude, that game, like you can like go on Twitch now and there's people like trying to do like fucking showing you all the glitches that they discovered as a kid to beat this guy in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Back in the day, PC games were crazy, man. I used to like people don't realize how awesome PC games were back then.
Yeah. Did you ever play RuneScape?
No, but I used to play Counter-Strike. You remember?
Oh man, everybody played Counter-Strike. I missed that.
And I'm old though. I remember the old stuff.
Oh.
But no, man. Counter-Strike. There was a game called Sims.
Yeah, I knew a bunch of people played the Sims.
Sims was the one. Sims was the jam back then, man. Create your own shit. People would like you could make the house go on fire. Yeah.
What a fucked up game! You're God. I never played The Sims. See, when I was a kid, I played World of Warcraft. I played Diablo 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those were games of choice, but I was like my brother was hardcore into games, and he tried to make me that kind of a gamer. But I was never good at shooters.
Yeah.
I'm not even good at RuneScape, but the iRacing stuff I can have fun with because I got the stick shift and everything. Oh man, I have a.
Oh yeah, are you a car guy?
I love going to quarter mile races. I love watching drag racing. If you ask me, you got races up there that you go to? Oh yeah.
You're in Ontario, right? You're in Ontario, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we got one place. I used to go to Cayuga all the time.
Yeah.
It's a quarter mile. And then they have a track in the back for like those fast as fuck street bikes, so we can watch quarter mile. We go watch those. Near me, where I go every year, is Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and they have like the NASCAR Truck Series come down for that.
Yeah.
We just sit on the fence line. We camp out for the weekend. That's a good time. When it comes to cars, though, I've always loved quarter mile racing. I don't know much about cars, but I've always loved the quarter mile racing. My dad took me in when I was a kid, made me watch street racing movies. So I love the art of I love watching the mechanics build the cars.
Yeah.
But me actually being a car guy, no. But one day I would like to own like a 69 Cutlass or something around there.
What was the last podcast you talked about? What kind of do you go over the place? Or what's the main topic lately?
I go all over the place. It's a different segment, different topic. The last one, hang on, I'm on my computer right now. I can.
What y'all talk about? What y'all talk about last time? Is it just like because you see the clip I pulled? That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that was old. That was a few episodes ago. So the last episode I talked about like people using the word podcast every other word when they're talking about podcasts. That drives me nuts.
Why? Why does that drive you nuts?
It's just like, okay, so it's like I was listening to a video, I was watching a video of someone talking about how to make your podcast bigger, and they're like, I'm on Twitter right now, and all you gotta say is, what's your favorite podcast? Yeah. Now go into the algorithm, and other podcasters can post their podcast and advertise their podcast. I'm like,
you guys, okay, I love Canadians too. They have that dialect. Americans do too, right? I have a dialect that is but I love Canadians though. They're awesome. Yeah. You guys have the awesome dialect. I love the A at the end of stuff.
Yeah, we say A a lot. We say, you know what though? I don't say a boot. I say about. I don't know where a boot
That's
comes
another
from.
one. That's another one. I love it.
I don't say a boot, do I?
No. But I'm just saying that's a stereotype, like a dialect.
Oh, another thing that Canadians don't do, we don't say fucking hoser all the time either, all right? That's a Bob and Doug McKenzie skit that just fucking blew up. But, yeah, another thing on the podcast is on the last episode, I talked about a girl or a guy who gave up his kidney for his girlfriend's, I think it was her father, and then she dumped him right after he did that.
What?
Yeah.
That's some messed up stuff, man.
Yeah, so I bashed that, and at the end I talked about the Daytona 500.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that. I've been there a couple times, Florida. Yeah. Oh, that's near my hometown. Hey, that's near my hometown. I live about 15, 30 minutes from Daytona 500. So you got Orlando, which is right. You got Orlando, and then you go all the way. And that's 45 minutes from Daytona Beach, and then you got the coast, and you got Cocoa Beach, which is a very popular beach. And then you have New Smyrna Beach. They're all right there. So so I know all about Daytona 500. I went a couple times. So what did you talk about 500 for? Just cause?
Oh, I was excited. I'm a NASCAR fan. So
you are NASCAR. Yeah. Who's your guy or girl? It doesn't matter.
Last year it was Matt Benedetto, but
you're a real NASCAR guy. You know names more than I do. I'm casual.
It'd be Matt Benedetto last year. This year it's Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott.
Are you like hardcore? Like you watch every race and all that?
See, not really, but I've watched enough where I know the names and I know who's good and who's bad, and I don't know. It's just something I'm
old enough to remember Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, my first ever NASCAR race I ever watched was the one where he died.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so that was crazy, man. What's your thoughts on the whole Earnhardt and Gordon rivalry? That was a legit rivalry back then.
It was great. It was I was talking to my dad about that, actually. My dad's a huge NASCAR fan. He said Jeff Gordon was the first, young guy, one of the youngest guys to be a part of NASCAR.
Yeah.
And he was a young guy, and he was whooping Earnhardt's ass, and that's where it was really good. I loved watching those two races because Earnhardt would get up on his ass, and he wouldn't back down. Everyone else would get out of Earnhardt's way. He'd be like, fuck you, I'll block. He was willing to crash just so Earnhardt, couldn't fucking get by him. I respect Gordon for that. And it was probably the best time of Earnhardt's career when they were racing together because he would not back down. It was awesome.
Yeah, Earnhardt didn't care. He's right on that. Yeah, Earnhardt didn't care, man. He would just run people over, and if he needed to show someone that, hey, I'm here, get the hell out of the way, he'll do it, you know?
Well, it's almost like a common courtesy thing.
He got that from Earnhardt though. Earnhardt did that.
Yeah. It's it should be a common courtesy thing because even in when I do the iRacing, I can get on someone's ass and my car's faster than them, but they try to block. If you ask me, if the other car's faster and you're not getting out of his way and he nicks you and you spin out, well, his car's faster to win. If you when a car's on your ass on the straightaway and into the corner, he's faster than you. It's almost like it's like watching those kids play Guitar Hero. You know, they can do through the fire and flames 100% without fucking up. You give them a real guitar, they can't fucking do it. You know what I mean? It's just how can you be that good at a video game?
Yeah, people make good money doing that shit, man.
Oh, I know, streamers, man.
What's your thoughts on all the money being passed around doing those things? I mean, it's crazy. Every year it seems to go up, right?
So my opinion about YouTubers and Twitch streamers about making all that money, there's two ways you handle making money, right? There's the humble way, which is like people like PewDiePie and Mr. Beast and stuff, who they kind of flex their money, but they don't. And then there's people like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and all those dickheads who literally, once they get money, all they're doing is flexing.
Right.
So it's okay to me if you make $50 million a year. But if you're going to just sit there and show me what you can spend on it and you're a complete dick about it and you're pretty much saying, I'm better than you, I'm living my best life, fuck you. I'll watch the Raptors, come on.
Aren't you guys all Raptor fans up there?
Nah, well, I know a lot of people who are fans of them, but me, no. I don't. It's like all my buddies are all my buddies Canadians love golf too.
Yeah.
I fucking hate golf.
Yeah. Well, the Raptors won the championship a few years ago.
Yeah, that's the only year I really was invested in watching.
Isn't that life though? Like people watch when they're good. It's like that in the States too. Yeah. It's like that in the United States too. Like if they're good, people will invest their time into it. If they're not, well, screw them.
For me, my big thing, it's like the Leafs. I watch the Leafs when they get into the playoffs. That's when I'll watch every single game, when they're in the playoffs. And I never think they're going to win. I just want to see how far they go before they choke.
Do you got a fun podcasting story? Something that went like completely left?
No, not yet. I don't have a lot of guests on my podcast.
But when did you start? When did you start doing it?
I started doing the podcast. I took a big hiatus. I'd say my reboot was in July, so I've been taking it seriously since July till now.
Yeah, I saw you on there. That's a pretty funny show. So I decided to be like, hey, BoyStick, that's a cool name. How'd you get BoyStick? What's the name from?
It's an old high school name. My old nickname in high school was Stick. I was as skinny as a stick, so they called me Stick. My brother's nickname was Twig, so it was Stick and Twig. And I have really old videos of me filming, and if for some reason the first time I was doing a video, I said, "What's going on? It's your BoyStick. Come back at it." And I was just like, BoyStick works. And I prefer my nickname than my real name on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, sometimes you need like a nickname to like stand out. So like a year or two from now, what do you see the podcast turning into?
Honestly, something like Howard Stern, like a live show.
Yeah, we were talking about that,
Like a live everyday, live stream. People come, just hang out. Somehow make a living off of doing this instead of waking up and going to a job, It'd be nice to just sit, drink a coffee, go on the computer, find stuff, and instantly just start recording. And just be as creative as I can. But you never know. Like for me, it's a long shot, but it's always in the back of my head. Like I'm gonna have, if I don't make it, at least I'm gonna have a lot of fun, and at least you'll always see me. Like if something, God forbid, ever happened to me, like I pass away or something, you will always have my old videos to just look back on and laugh at.
Right. I see you drinking a beer. What's your beer of choice? Is that it? Anheuser-Busch?
Budweiser.
Yeah, the king of beers.
Yeah, I've been drinking Budweiser since I was 16.
I've partaken in a few rounds myself, but so you're a Budweiser guy.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad, how I got into Budweiser was my father, or no, not my father. Who bought me beer that night? It was one of my buddies, and I actually had money. Like all my buddies would buy the cheap James Reddy, this fuck of beer, beer, right?
Yeah.
Like really hangover type beer. So I gave this guy money, and he was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Oh, just give me the cheap shit." And he was like, "No, this is more. I can get you something better for this." I was like, "Give me whatever." Then brought out Budweiser, and that's how I fell in love with it.
Yeah, man. And then ever since then, huh?
Yeah, I drink other stuff. I can drink. I like Heineken. I like. I'm not a craft beer fan, so don't even ask me. I fucking don't like craft beer.
What's your favorite part about podcasting? Like, what do you like so much about it?
For me, it's literally just I get excited to record. I get excited to see what I'm actually going to say. Because all of it's pretty much, I don't write anything down a lot, just right off the top of my head. And sometimes I record and I sit there and say, holy, that was fucking great. Like, I loved what I said there.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of stuff. It's just like, to me, podcasting is very therapeutic. That's what it is. It's very therapeutic for me.
So how do you decide what you're going to talk about? Or is it just random? Like BoyStick wakes up and bam, we're going to talk about this. Like explain how you go about it.
I do have a whiteboard. And so usually it's all set by Monday what I'm going to talk about. So over the weekend, I start finding shit, hanging out, drink a beer, and try to figure out what I talk about. I'll actually, I don't know if you can see it, but hang on. There's the whiteboard.
Yo, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I called it out. I'm a psychic.
So when I just come up with an idea, I just jot it down quick. And that's pretty much it. Or it could be either or. I could write stuff down like, all right, this is what I'm going to talk about in this order. Or one day I'm just at work and I'm on Instagram and I see something. I'm like, oh, perfect. Go on and talk about that tonight. And while I'm at work, everyone thinks I'm crazy because I talk to myself, but I'm practicing what I'm going to say for that night, what I'm going to record.
Yeah. So what's your favorite episode so far?
Of my own? Fuck. I would say probably when I first started up the new style with the random videos of the week, probably number 30. With the person that saved the silos. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I also like the one number 34, and it's not anything but the random video of the week is this guy tries to save a squirrel from his chimney, and the squirrel bites him.
Oh yeah.
And and if you watch that random video, I fucking at the end it cuts because I'm laughing so hard I'm crying.
Yeah.
I had to stop filming. It was just so fucking funny, and that was the most fun I ever had while I was doing a podcast. Like, that was a great video. And, the random videos of the week, it's always a hit and miss for me. Like, number 40, we're going back into lockdown. That was, like, talking about Omicron and shit when it first came out.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then number 41 is I made fun of the show The Hype House, the TikTok house that's on Netflix.
So
that show.
So if there was one, give me one number that people should when they get done listening to you on the Sensibly Cynical podcast. Give me the number that people should check out.
Oh, it's tough. I'd say do episode. Okay, I'll give you two. Episode 30 and 34.
All
Those
right,
two I had a lot of fun with.
You heard it from BoyStick. That's it. 30 and 34.
It's kind of cool that around me, there's been people who ask me. It's kind of a compliment. Like, damn, I had the balls to do it. Now people want to do it. But the podcast is what it is. It's just it was just an itch to make content, but didn't have a lot of time to do commentary, and it was boring. I took it serious once it was boring.
Do you got a preference in like music? Do you got a favorite musician of all time?
Waylon Jennings, old country singer.
Oh yeah, your country guy? I love it. What's your thoughts on what's the difference between old school country and new school country? I see there's a huge difference.
New country is shit. It's pop. It's pop. I like storytelling, and that's what old country was. It told amazing stories. New country is just getting the girl in the tight blue jeans and your fucking jacked up truck. I hate that shit.
Shania Twain, you know who that is?
Dude, she's Canadian.
I had the biggest crush on her ever. Like,
so did I.
I used to think she was the hottest female in the entire world. Like,
when she wore the denim like pants and jacket.
Of course, yeah, it was either back in the day, man. It was either like Faith Hill or Shania Twain. That's who it was.
Hey, Faith Hill.
Yeah, that's who it was.
She's good too. Come on now.
Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw. Fucking Christ! I know all these guys. We're both old.
No, but they're like married though. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
All right, BoyStick. Thank you so much, man. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
We'll have to do this again sometime. All right.
Perfect. Thanks, dude.
All right, man. Thank you.
Peace.
Okay, now that was a classic. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Sensibly Cynical podcast. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check us out on Twitter at Cynical Sensibly, Instagram Sensibly Cynical Pod, and please check out our Facebook page. Also, We are on WordPress. We have plenty of coffee mugs available. Check out the link on our link tree at Sensibly Cynical. Coming up next on the podcast, I am set to be joined by Emily Gabriel. She's an amazing singer-songwriter out of New York City. This was a great interview. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. But until then, please stay safe and take care.